So thanks for checking out this video. My name is James Francis. We're going to be doing a matte shot. It's for a shot for a movie I'm working on, a feature film called The Wrong People, with my brother Dan. And this shot is actually going to be in the final film, hopefully, if I can pull it off. We're combining a couple very wide shots of a small town, subbing in for the town of the movie. The original shot is a shot of the characters Greg and Junior from the movie, and what we're going to be doing is simply putting in a small town as if they're like overlooking the town. The original shot we're going to be working with is this shot here. I have the shots already ready to go. I had to find them and stuff. You guys know how to do that. Just file importing the files from where they are. Anyway, the original shot here, we're just going to drag this in to After Effects. We're going to be using After Effects to do this matte painting. This original shot, it's a lockdown shot because it's all super foggy here. We can actually use that because it's such a flat background. We can do what we want with that. I'm just going to cut there. That's all I'm going to be using. Maybe I'm going to pull this back up a bit, but that's really the main shot. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to right click here at my workspace right on top here, and I'm going to drag it in, and I'm just trim the comp to the work area. That's all we're going to work with. We're just going to work with that. Now there's a couple things the shot actually needs. It's required because of the scene and the context of where the shot is needed in the movie. There's a couple elements at the end that I'll have to show you how to do too, but it'll be a cool little bonus. So we have this shot. It's fairly wide, but the plan is to actually have this kind of like an overlook of a small town. So there's a bit of an issue here. We have these trees here can be taken out. So I'm just going to loosely take them out to leave some room for a small town to be about here, but in the far distance. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make, right now, I'm just going to make a rough mask from like where I want to basically just take out these trees here on the side. And because Dan here, his character, he doesn't move much. So it's good. It's great for us actually. We can actually take out a lot of this. We could take out this tree if you wanted to do some more intricate rotoscoping, but we're gonna leave that. I'm probably gonna start cutting around here somewhere, but I'll just quickly do that. This is just all I did is click on mask, click on the pen tool here, this little pen, and I'm just gonna start drawing around the part where I don't want anymore. It's just gonna be loose. I can go in and make it tighter later. I'm just going to take out this tree, and I'm probably going to start thinking about moving back. Probably something like this. Again, this is just rough. Just to show you. And because I used the default mask sets it on the positive, on this particular mask I made, I actually want it to be the reverse. So I want to click down on this button here, on the file, click in masks, open that up, and right here, instead of add, which is the default, you want to subtract. So there. So basically just created this static mask. Let's play it. It doesn't look amazing, but it's just a rough little mask. Okay, so it's kind of the step one is done. And now I've got a couple other shots here that I shot on different days. I actually haven't even looked at what these look like, so we'll just see how they look. I'm going to put it right below, so it'll pop through this. And look at that. This is like shot on it's the same day. That's actually quite impressive. Actually, I didn't know that would end up being that good. And it's really dim. This is a really foggy day. It's been like this, but it's kind of ideal. I actually wanted it to be like this. So this is the town. This is a mill here. So the town's here. It actually matches up with that tree here fairly well, which is kind of surprising. You can even shrink this a bit. We'll click down and transform. I'm going to try shrinking it from 100. Maybe it's a 84 or something like that. Let's see how that works. I'm actually really, really impressed with how that lined up. It's actually quite surprising. I didn't think that was how good it was going to be. And so now that's our shot right now with very little work. All we did is we created a mask, and then we placed the town in there. You might not be able to see the town actually. It's a very, very, again, like very foggy day, and it's very diffused. So I'm actually just gonna add a curve a color correction to the town just to kind of work with. I might take it off after because I actually like it kind of faded like that. That's sort of like what we're trying to achieve with the shot. But I'm just going to go into effects and I'm going to type in curves. And you drag this over. I'm just going to drag it into the townscape, and I'm just going to make it slightly darker. Just going to pull the blacks here. I'm just going to darken it a bit. Maybe even pop it in the highlights a bit. Just to give a little bit. Mostly just for my eye. Just to see how it works. And I'm actually just going to put the same curve on my my character footage here. So all I did is copy the curve, Control copy or edit copy. I'm just going to paste it right into the top layer. This is I'm actually going to rename this. So I press Enter, and I'm going to rename this file to Junior and Greg. Greg on the left, Greg on the right actually, and then this is the town. So on the Junior and Greg title, the Junior and Greg file, I'm just going to paste that curve file in, and it's a little bit dark, so I'll pull it up a bit. This is just kind of work with. I'm going to do a overall color grade on this later. Actually, I'm going to go back to the town and just kind of bring that back up. It's a little bit dark. One thing you can do is fade, go back to the mask, and then actually go to mask feather, and we're going to feather it a bit. I'm just going to feather it like 15 pixels. Just give it a little bit of feathering there. Now, that shot is already looking pretty decent. Oh, my plate shot I just saw there, it has a little bit of a bump. So I'm going to push this over until it starts smoothing itself out. What we're going to do is we're going to pre-comp this into one full shot now. So I select both of them, select them like that, or you can even just click Control, click the one, and then click Control and select them both. And then I'm going to go to Layer, and then I'm going to pre-compose. I'm just going to call this the matte. So that's kind of locked in now, but we can always change that, obviously. I do have some other stuff we can do here. I do have a layer of mountains. Let's open up our matte. So we have our matte composition here. I'm going to double click. So this is again still the Junior in the town, Junior Greg shot in town. And I'm going to add this other shot. Just going to see what this looks like. This doesn't have any city in it, but it's got this cool mountain on top. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to combine this to be the mountain on top of make it more of a valley. Because if you see really far in the distance, there's actually ocean here. I don't want that. It's just the shot. I want it to be a little bit more mountain. And it's got a cool fog bank here. So I'm going to just title this Mountains. I actually might put this right on top here. So that now it's on top of the Junior and Greg footage. And I'm going to mask this now. I'm going to mask just the mountain part. Dodge these trees here. I'm just drawing right on this mountain plate here. So now we have some mountains. And I'm going to drag it down. I'm actually going to go behind the Junior and Greg footage again. And don't worry about this here. We'll fix that up. Now I'm trying to make this so it's a little bit more of a valley. So I'm going to actually take out the mill. And then I am going to click in masks on the mountains plate here, and I'm just going to feather it a bit. Actually, I'm going to feather it quite a bit. So I put it to 187. So we took out the mill and added mountains instead. And that should look pretty cool. We took out the ocean that was by the mill, and now we've stuck in these mountains. Now, if you go back, this is still our matte shot, and it's got our mountain in it now. And our matte is a little bit weird up here. I missed that. Let's go back into the mountains, and I'm just going to crop it so it kind of blurs back into the sky here. There. It's a better fade there now. So the thing I was going to show you is actually, so now this one composition here is just the full matte shot. What I'm going to do is actually This is a kind of a trick I do a lot if you've checked out some of my other videos. But I'm going to go to composition settings, and I'm actually going to change it to a much wider scope resolution. And how I did that was I just have this pre-made one for my GH4, so I thought was actually shoots 4K, which is 4096 by 1716. It's kind of like a 2.39 scope ratio instead of 69. I really like the wide look to it. So here we are with the wide shot, and now because we have the information we have information on the top and the bottom of the shot, we can actually make this kind of fake pan down. Click on matte. This is my full matte. When I double click, it's all three of these shots. It's the mountains, Greg, mountains, Junior Greg, and the town. So when I go to matte, it's just one big file. So I click into matte, and I click this down, and I click transform, and I click this down. Then I create a keyframe using this little clock. Click position, and I'm going to start. I click on the keyframe, and I'm just going to bring this shot down, and it's going to start there. I'm going to zoom in as well, so I'm going to just ever so slightly zoom in a shot. So it's going to be, I'm going to go to 115. You don't want to do it too much because then you lose kind of resolution. I mean, technically I am losing resolution here, but because the original shot is 4K, you can kind of get away with it a bit more, especially if you're watching it just on HD. But I'm also going to keyframe the scale, which I did there. So it's 115 on the keyframe for the scale, and I moved it up. Actually, now I can move it even more up, farther up. And I'm going to actually pull it over as well. So it's going to start more on the town. So I'm going to start there. And then I'm going to bring the shot all the way. I'm going to bring this, go all the way to the end of the shot. And I'm going to click the keyframes on both the scale and the position and the scale. And I'm going to put it to where I want the shot to finally rest. And I'm going to do it right there. And I selected them and I actually right click. And if you go to keyframe assistant, I like to ease into it. It just makes it a little bit, it doesn't just go point to point. It actually goes to point and then slowly goes to the end of the shot, so it lands a lot softer. So really, it's really your shot right here, without any color grading or anything really. I mean, there's a little bit of color differences on the blend, but other than that, it's looking okay. That's basically your shot. We've got this missing stuff here. This is actually interesting. While shooting this shot, this is a little trick. If you go to the Junior and Greg shot, I'm just going to put it here and solo it. But if you go to the end of the shot, you can see I kind of wave the camera around to get this extra information here. And what we're going to do, I'm just going to actually again turn this into a still frame by this is the same file as the Junior and Greg stuff, but I just put it down here, soloed it, looked for the frame I wanted, and then I'm going to right click and I'm going to go time, and I'm going to freeze frame it, and it actually creates a still frame of this. And then just right from there, I'm going to make a quick mask here, really dirty. I just want this little extra information here of this dirt. It'll all make sense here soon. So I'm going to unsolo it. Unsoloed it, and there it is. It's actually underneath here, so I'm just going to be moving it. I'm just going to be moving it down here a bit, so it lines up with the car. So I'm actually going to put it on top here. Line it up with the car bumper, so it sort of lines up. It doesn't have to line up perfect, but it's somewhere around there, I think. And then I'm going to blend it quite a bit. I'm just adding a little bit of extra dirt here, and then there, I'm just going to have it like that. And because I had that little curve on it, I'm just going to put that back on there too. So we've got this sort of like cheated a bit by adding a little extra dirt from the actual shot. It's just off the original shot. So just going to add that dirt. There, got a little bit of extra dirt in there. So it just has that little extra information so you can pull the camera back a little bit further. So what we'll be doing now is adding a color grade to this. I want to integrate the shots a little bit better. So I got my dirt and my Junior and Greg. Those are the same day and everything. Mountains were shot on a different day, and the town was shot on a different day. But the mountains and the town look very, very similar. So I'm going to basically have Junior and Greg in the dirt as one. I'm going to treat it as one shot, and the mountains and the town as another separate shot. So basically 2 shots instead of the 4 we have. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick the town, and I'm actually going to... No, sorry. I'm going to pick... This is all totally up to you, but I'm going to change the color of Junior and Greg shot and then base everything else off that color. And so what we have here, I'm just going to isolate just the shot we have. So this is just Junior and Greg. And I'm going to reset our curve little... we just darkened the curve earlier just to see what we were doing. But now I'm actually going to start making it look like something. I have 2 tutorials now on how I color grade, but what I'm going to do is do a quick version of it. I'm going to make this shot actually as dark as I can go. I wanted to make it look either like really early morning or like just before like the light goes down. Basically as dark as I can go without making it look ridiculous. So I'm going to turn the dark right back down. So I'm just kind of arbitrarily just changing the RGB here, and then I'm going to go into different individual colors and take the red down a bit. Kind of make it a little bit cooler looking. So I'm going to kind of go with this sort of color. It's a little dark, but we'll just see how that goes. And so now if you go back, the other shots are going to look a little odd. What I'm first going to do is just copy this curves and add it to our dirt layer. And that should match up fine. But now I'm going to go to the mountain. Actually, I'm going to the town, and I'm going to try and match Junior and Greg here. So I click on town, and I'm going to reset the curves again. And I'm going to go into this here. It's the RGB, it's the red, green, and blue view of your monitor. So I'm gonna bypass the RGB for now. And I'm gonna click on red. So now this is the red information of our shot. And I'm gonna go into RGB, and I'm gonna go to red. And I'm gonna just match it with this Junior and Greg stuff. So I'm gonna turn the highlights down a bit, and then I'm gonna turn this down a bit, because it's fairly dark into here. You don't want to make it too different though. That's getting there. And then I'm going to click the green. And I'm going to do this with all 3 colors and match them. Match them as best as I can. Go to blue now. There, let's see how that looks. Matching, it looks okay. It's still a little soft on the mountains and stuff. It could be a little bit darker, but it's supposed to be separated a bit. So we're just going to work with that for now. So I'm again going to go back to my comp. This is kind of my final shot, and this is what the composition is made of. And what I'm going to add to it is, I'm actually going to add a fire to this. The scene actually is supposed to have a fire in it. I think I mentioned that before. And it's supposed to be in a building in the town. So we sort of have to pick a building here to light on fire. And I'm going to pick this shape here. It's very far away. It's kind of like the middle of town here. But I'm going to do right in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to import a fire. Have some fire stock footage here. And it's just a small little fire. We're going to make it really, really small. It's supposed to be way in the distance. So let's see if we can find that building here. I'm picking this building here. We're really making it small here. Use another different separate shot. Now I'm going to select these 2 fires here, and I'm actually going to make another composition. So I'm going to select them, pre-compose, and this is going to be my fire comp. I'm going to put all my fire stuff in here, and then work with it later. So this is what my fire looks like. It's a little bit, I want it to be fairly organized because it's one little building on fire. So I don't want it too big. I'm gonna stick some of this wood burning one. Ideally, you'd get like a big fire, a shot of a big fire, because it would work better. The scale would be a lot better. But this will suffice for now. And what I'm going to do too is I'm going to take my fire. I'm making a mask, but I'm going to make it a mask to make it look like a building is sort of like in the way of their view, to kind of really sell it that it's far away. So I'm going to subtract this mask instead of making it add. Bring this. I'm going to add a overall adjustment layer to the whole shot, but it's going to be a masked area just around the fire to kind of get a nice glow coming off the fire. It's going to be very subtle. Again, I'm just going to add curves to it, to the fire glow. I'm going to click to red. I'm just going to turn the red up a little bit. But I'm going to turn this mask way down. I'm actually going to, what I did there is I expanded the mask down, way far down, and then I'm going to feather it a lot as well. Almost like a super feather. 95. Really just blur it out. Just have the ever so slight glow on the whole shot. And I'm actually going to turn down the opacity on the mask as well to about half. 55. Maybe 75. There. I'm actually going to make the mask spread out a bit. Here. Because it's been burning for a while. That's kind of what it's supposed to be doing. Again, I'm going to turn it down to 60. One little added thing is on the fire, I'm gonna change the blend to something a little bit more subtle. Like a soft light. Make another. I duplicated them again. I just clicked edit duplicate. Just gonna add another fire in the same area. Just change it up ever so slightly, just to make it look a little bit bigger, but just again still small. If that makes any sense. One more added thing is I also have this little a shot of a fire truck, and I'm gonna put that really far away, and it's super blurry, but you won't be able to see it. But it's got this cool little flicker to it, and we'll kind of put it way in the back. Oh, putting the wrong thing here. So I just dragged it down into our composition here. I'm going to mask around it. If you can play it here, it's got these blinking lights, and I like it, and I want to add this in. So I'm just going to crop around, sort of like the lights. It's a static shot, so you can kind of do what you want with it. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to feather it a ton. Change the opacity way down. Because again, it's supposed to be fairly far away. Blend it in a little bit better. And I might stick another one. So I just duplicated it again, and I'm going to move one over. Rotate it so it looks a little bit different. And I think that's going to be all I do. I hope this helped out. Just your basic, kind of a basic matte shot. We didn't do any 3D matte shot stuff. Maybe we'll do that next time with a moving camera. Maybe a matte painting matte shot part 2. I like tweaking tutorials I do So if you have any questions, any comments about this, maybe some better ideas on what I should do, or maybe you need some help with, maybe you need some help with some shots, or some effects you want to see. This is pretty straightforward. But it's a really neat way of getting some cool shots that you wouldn't normally be able to get. So I hope this helped out. My name is Jamie Francis, and I hope you subscribe to my channel, and I answer every comment. So if you have any suggestions or any comments on this video, or any thought you have, I answer everything. So yeah, just ask me any questions, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks a lot.